welcome to Azusa High's Cafe Azteca. Today is February 17, 2022. I want to respect everybody's time, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So, thank you everybody for joining us and being here today. We're going to start off with our agenda, give everybody a welcome, review our virtual norms. We have Mr. Fernandez joining us with the high school reorganizational team. We'll take some questions, go over important dates and calendar. So our virtual meeting norms are welcome. Oh, sorry, mute your microphone. It's okay to turn off your camera. This meeting is being recorded. Be present, participate, and respect each other's time. And contact us for personal cases. So we also like to share with you our administrators' names and emails. If you guys ever need some assistance, have any questions, we have Dr. Gomez, who is our principal, and his email is below, and assistant principal Ms. Pegorori and assistant principal Mr. Velasco. Okay, and we're always happy to share their emails. And we want to go ahead and give everybody, Mr. Fernandez, a welcome. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Fernandez. And we want to respect everybody's time, so please, sir.
All right, I'll go ahead and get started. I am going to share my screen with the presentation I put together for this afternoon. So, just so you know who I am, my name is Gabriel Fernandez. I am the principal that is overseeing the combination of both Azusa and Gladstone High School. I'm right now working out of the district office, but I'm spending a lot of my time going to Azusa High School to learn about the school, to learn what are their needs, learn about developments that we need to see, and then also thinking about programs and everything that we can do to make Azusa High School a great place to be for your kids and this community. So today I'm here specifically to talk about that topic that's been brought up over the last couple months, the mascot and color selection. So this here is an overview of the process. I know people might have ideas about that, but for right now, I want to describe the process, and you will tell me your feedback about the process, and then we'll go from there. So once again, the purpose of this session is to get input on how the process should work, not exactly on your ideas for mascot and colors. During this process, once it starts, and it's not starting today, once the process starts, we're going to start getting input as to what the mascot and colors should be. So first of all, the first step in this process of choosing mascot and colors for Azusa High School is to put together a committee of Azusa Unified High School students. So that committee will be comprised of students from Azusa High School, Gladstone High School, and Sierra. There was a question this morning from Spanish-speaking parents about how will students be selected for that committee. We are going to be working with our current student board representatives and the current site administration at those sites to work on putting together that team. But we want to make sure that all the grade levels at the high schools are being represented, and that students in special ed classes as well as our English learners are being heard. We're not just going to go to the ASB classes to find members of this committee. After that committee has been put together, that committee will work on designing an initial survey for students in grades 7 through 11. A group of students met with Mr. Ortega and myself about 3 weeks ago now, and they said that, as part of this process, the people who are most impacted by the decision for this mascot and colors really should be the ones speaking the most. So they thought at that time there should be students in middle school and high school who are making that. And then there were seniors in the room who said, they're graduating. Maybe we want to include them later, but at the beginning, it should be students who will be at Azusa High School. So that's why we're starting with the students. They also said it's very important that people know what's going on. So they said, no matter what, we need to have a good message campaign out there so that everybody knows that this survey is important to help us decide what the mascot and colors will be. So you need to get the information out to the students, and then we get to the second survey or the final survey. That messaging needs to be strong so everybody's aware that it's happening. After that initial color and mascot survey, it's going to be administered to students in class. It will not be homework. We want to make sure that we get as close to 100% participation as possible. I know that's a common concern. It's like, hey, we only got like 3%, 20%, 30% of kids participating. We're trying to really push 100% as much as possible of all the students, including those students in independent study. So we want to make sure we're capturing everybody's voice. After that survey is done by the students, the committee, the color and mascot survey committee, will reconvene, and they are going to look at the first results and put together a final survey that is going to go out to students, including 12th graders at this point, based on some student feedback already, to parents of current students, and then the staff that works in this district as well. Again, we're going to need to make sure that there's a strong message campaign out to our employees, out to the staff. We also need to make sure that there's strong messaging to parents. I imagine that the window of time for parents and staff to complete the survey will probably be longer to make sure that there's enough chance for people to participate in this survey, the final survey. After that survey window closes, the results will be in. That committee probably will meet one last time, and then, as determined by the survey, the new mascot and colors will be announced to the Board of Education. So that's this process in a nutshell. As it stands right now on 2/17/22, like I said at the beginning of this, we have not started this process yet, but I'm bringing it out to parents here at Azusa, and next week I'm bringing it to parents at Gladstone to get feedback before a board presentation on March 1st to talk about the process. Thoughts or feedback regarding the mascot and colors selection process that I've described?
Don't be shy, people. This is the time.
Why are we changing the mascot and colors? Like, what's the main reason?
Are you aware of the board decision that was made a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, where Gladstone High students are going to go into Azusa High.
Correct. And then I think I don't remember the exact board date. So there was the first board decision that was made in December to go to one high school, and that the high school was going to be Azusa High School. And then about a month later, I forget the exact date, it was in January, where the Board of Education said they were deciding that there would be a new mascot and colors for Azusa High School. For various reasons, that decision was made. I don't recall all the rationale that was brought out by the board members, but it was decided at that time. I would recommend going back and watching that YouTube video of the discussion that led up to that vote. I don't want to put words in the mouths of board members.
Now, I saw something where this was going to cost like a ridiculous amount. Is that correct?
The last meeting I saw where they talked about cost, that somebody had said something about $2 million, and then there was another figure of $1 million. I can tell you what the money is meant for. And part of what that rebranding, I guess is the word that you might be hearing, is included in the cost of repainting buildings at Azusa High School. It is the cost of a new gym floor. It is the cost of new uniforms for sports teams, as well as for music programs. So there's quite a bit of cost that is not just the cost of a new logo per se, as much as it's the cost of enhancing the quality of the campus as it is right now. So that should be cost no matter what, because the school does need a new paint job, I think, based on what I've seen so far.
Would the cost be less if the school just got a new paint job in the colors it was already in?
It's quite possible through the process that the colors may stay the same. That's a possibility. I know there was a board conversation that occurred last time where somebody said, well, what if we change just this, or what if we change just that? And some students asked the same question last week, and I said, the process is the process. There's going to be ideas that students vote on, and that parents vote on, and the staff votes on. Let's do the process, I say right now, and let's see what happens through the process. Yes, Miss Rico or Miss Verduzco, are you still asking questions? I'm sorry.
Yeah, but go ahead. She could go first.
Okay. Miss Rico?
Yeah, I was just wondering, so if the board decided or reversed their decision on not allowing the Aztec to be there, that would be something that we could revisit, right? You would put it back into the survey.
I asked that question as soon as I heard it this morning, because I think it was a question that parents had asked, and I said to Mr. Ortega, look, they asked this question, where does it stand? He said he hasn't had a chance to talk to them yet about it, so I can't definitively answer for them regarding it, but my answer is, right now, the kids are going to put their ideas into the process already. So something's going to come up in the process, and we're going to have to address it then. I don't think there's going to be a blanket yes or a blanket no before the process starts, to be honest. That's just my own my feeling towards this.
Okay. Yeah, because I know that when they decided, they said, okay, no, it would have to be a new one. But then the next week, when more kids came to speak up, they said, okay, we may reconsider, but we need to have conversations on the side, not here.
Yeah,
so
and
that's
I feel that's where they're at, correct. And I don't want to speak for them, but I hear you.
All right, thank you.
So Miss Verduzco?
Yeah. Does this have to happen? Like, do we really have to change all that just because the new school is coming? I mean, it's still Azusa, right?
Right. Yeah, the name of the high school still is Azusa High School.
No, but like Gladstone is still considered Azusa school district, right? So basically, they're not leaving the city; they're just going to a different building. Can't they just leave it the same?
I understand your question. So just because it's still the same district, still the same building, why are we changing anything?
Yeah.
I don't know that I go back to say, please watch that board meeting. Miss Cruz Thomas?
Hi. So I just wanted to clarify a few things because I have gone to the board meetings. For those of you who are wondering, so I know that I know that we are in the process of changing everything. It's being said that it's going to be done, but us as parents, if we're that concerned, we need to make sure that we're messaging the board members politely and giving them your feedback, because if not, they're not going to know. They're going to hear a bunch of angry people talking, but really no one's taking the right steps, like sending emails. So I really encourage all of us parents to send those emails and make sure that we're doing that in a respectful manner so that they get our opinion that way, because it might not necessarily be on a survey. And then obviously and I'm also a cheer coach there too. So yeah, this bothers me for sure. But I'm going to go with the flow with whatever the district decides, because I like my kids and I like this. I love the school and I want to be here. But yeah, definitely as a parent, it does strikes a nerve, but I just wish that we were a little bit more transparent with this, because like you said, that there was a board member who did say that they wanted to sit and revisit the situation, but we haven't heard anything else about it. So we do talk, and I am there, I am present, I do ask questions, but my questions are not really being answered. I don't know who else I'm supposed to speak to other than writing continuous emails. But so this meeting is what about? So we're really not talking about our opinions or anything. It's just kind of the process of what's going to be done. Is that what this meeting is about?
Correct. I can't speak for the board. I don't want to put myself in that situation, but I'm hearing your questions and I'm writing them down, and I will present them to my boss.
Okay, so then one of my questions, because I asked before and they said they were going to post my questions on the district website, and I haven't seen them posted yet. One of them was, and to clarify, because I was again in that meeting with one of the parents who just asked. This started over a complaint from another district, and then obviously it was also set a long time ago when it came to them discussing the change of the schools, and like, you know, the ninth graders coming, or Gladstone merging with Azusa. They wanted to make sure that that it was a compromise between both schools, so that's why that came up. But it was more being pushed because in the meetings they're saying that we're offending the native or the Aztec heritage. So that's where that's coming from, and I'll say it just because I was there. And then yeah, so I mean, one of them was I wanted to see the number. I wanted to know. I gave a number at the time, and I believe it was around 2,500 signatures of people who were for the Aztec staying, and then I asked what the number was of the people who were not for it. So if you can write that down maybe and ask.
I did.
What
Yes.
that number was. Just okay, cool.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Miss Castaneda?
Liz, did we lose you, Miss Liz? Okay, I think we lost her. But when she signs in
No,
again. Oh,
I didn't
okay.
even turn off. I literally had a full conversation. I had my mic off this whole time. No, my question was kind of like the same, like what my sister had just mentioned. But my another question is, what is your, like, do you have a time frame of when all this is happening, or is it just you guys are just going with the flow? I just want to make sure that it's not affecting our kids and it's not distracting. It's not super distracting, because I know for my child, change is not good, and I don't the being distracted while they're in school.
That makes sense. So that was a question that came up earlier this morning regarding what would be the timeline for this process. So I mapped out something, shared it, and so that makes sense. So looking, if the process was okay as it is described so far, we have the board meeting March 1st. It's about a month and a half, give or take, to have the two surveys, one go out to the students and the second one to go out to students, parents, and staff. Hopefully we get a good answer to everything by mid-April. And then a parent this morning made a strong recommendation. I don't know if you heard, if I brought that up yet, but said, you know, when would the change take effect? Because we have juniors right now, next year will be seniors. It sounds like Gladstone Gladiators will be graduating Gladiators. Would that be the same for Aztecs to graduate as Aztecs next year? So I took that feedback and I said that feedback makes quite a bit of sense to me. So I don't know exactly if that's the way it's supposed to be, but that's my recommendation, that we are equal and that things are fair for your kids. Does that answer your question, Ms. Castaneda?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Ms. Sepulveda?
Hi, my son is a freshman there at in Azusa, and I like that idea of if at the I would like it to be reconsidered, you know, in general, and keep Aztecs. But again, if ultimately it's not going to happen, I would second the notion of allowing the kids to graduate as, you know, they're known, like the, you know, the Gladstone kids still have some of that. And then even from our freshmen going on, I know that there's some schools and areas to where like each class has colors or their own like brand. And so kind of, even as, you know, it's going to take time for all this paint and stuff, but that way our kids don't feel like, okay, like my son, we're getting shirts and we're raising for Spirit gear, and because he's playing on baseball, and it's like, we don't want them to have to like throw it or put it away, but kind of embracing kind of embracing everything, but allow them to keep that identity. And then maybe next year's class like can start with, or the year after or whatever, they'll still be Aztecs because that skill is still going to be around, but somehow it coexisting until it's like a really good phase out plan.
Yeah, I understand you completely. I went and spoke to Charter Oak High School on Monday on my day off to kind of figure out, because Charter Oak went through the same process like 25 years ago. And it was very interesting to see. I think I saw a graduation program from last year, and it still seemed like they were representing both high schools on their graduation program on the way it was designed. So I think there's some things that I learned on Monday that not necessarily we have to do what they're doing, but it gave me some ideas about some possibilities. Miss Verduzco?
Hi, I'm kind of going off of what Christina said.
Mm-hmm.
Are people, there's two questions. Are
Yeah.
people offended by the Aztec? And then also, let's say everything happens, you guys change the mascot, everything. Will that happen again if the another high school opens up later in the future? Will they have to like redo it?
Oh goodness. I from what I heard of the board meeting, I think Miss Thomas mentioned some people said that they were offended. I did hear those comments being made, so I think the short answer to your question was some people are offended. How many? I don't know. And then your second question, would we have to change our name again if we open another high school in Azusa, or?
Yeah.
Okay. I hope not. I mean, Azusa High School is going to stay Azusa High School. They're looking at part of what went into all this deciding in the first place was the projections about enrollment in the schools. So, and unfortunately, that's something that district administration, site administration don't really have control over. That's more, from what I can tell, a function of economics and how affordable neighborhoods are to live in. I've heard that some people are moving into Azusa. We see new development occurring around the goal line stations there in near Target. So that there could be the potential for more people coming to the city. But overall, this whole area, it's not just Azusa. Charter Oak, when I was there on Monday, their school's at 1,300 kids, and they combined 25 years ago. So again, there's quite a bit of stuff that I don't really know because I'm not a demographer, but I'm just trying to make the best high school that we can for your kids and make the high school experience meaningful, that they get off to a good college, they get the programs that they need to develop their talents, and that they have a good life. That's what you want for your kids. That's what I want for your kids. Miss Thomas?
I really like what you said about the going to Charter Oak and like how they made both schools feel comfortable. I do understand what the other parent was saying about possibly respecting their them being at another school.
Yeah.
And I think all of us can grow and find different ways to make them feel welcome too, because I mean that's got to be super hard for them. I totally get it. I understand. I don't get the change only because I just feel like we're kind of it's kind of obvious we're all a bunch of Mexicans in this school and our heritage.
Yeah.
Some Aztec people.
Right.
So it just that right there just kind of was like what? But
yep.
I understand. Like I said, tell the other parents that if we really do want it to stay, you just have to respectfully email the board, let them know how you feel about it. And I had another question, but that other one with the merging and representing the other school, I did want to say that was a really good idea, or hopefully something that we can bring to our school. Dang it, I forgot what I was going to say. That one lost my train of thought, but yeah, that was good. But if I remember, I'll tell you.
Okay, so for sure, something else that is not part of this presentation, but there's a couple other needs that are definitely on my mind to start addressing this year, which is to talk to 9th and 10th graders at both schools to find out specifically about graduation, because I know that that's a burning topic in a lot of people's hearts. And that's something that I want to start sooner rather than later, so we don't walk into something 3 to 4 years from now saying, oh, why didn't we figure this out? My goal is to start those conversations now, or not now today, but to have those conversations in the spring so that we have more time to think about it, because I don't like rush decisions, especially when it's really, really important. Yes, Ms. Thomas.
Sorry. Okay, I remember. When it comes to uniforms, I know you mentioned that the school, then that cost was going to be uniforms. So is that going to be for all sports that we're going to cover new stuff? Because for me personally,
my goal is to push as hard as I can for new uniforms, period, no matter what, because it's sad to say, like, I've been to a couple high schools now where whenever I look out there, I'm like, man, although I will say, like, I've seen some nice Aztec uniforms, I've seen some nice gladiator uniforms. So they're not all bad, but we really do need to make sure that our athletes are well taken care of. And that's one of the things that I'm looking at just beyond their uniforms is the athletic facilities. Like there's things that we definitely need to improve upon for Azusa High School. And that's again, that's just cost. Besides rebranding, there's like new athletic facilities. There's what about lights for football stadium? Like all those things are in my mind. We have to make the school the best that we can make it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And then what would happen with the school like PE clothes? Because
That's the question that somebody asked me a couple weeks ago. And as I
might have been me.
No, it was.
Oh no.
Here, she asked me, so what do we do about PE clothes? I'm like, I don't know yet. I'll wait for.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Maybe just have them wear their own stuff. I don't know. Maybe do away with the PE clothes in general, because I know a lot of times, like, the parents, like, there are some kids that can't afford that, and to do it again, or I don't know. Just that was one of the things that was kind of worried to me.
Yeah.
Obviously, I can pay for my daughters, but I know a lot of kids that weren't able to, and that was just something that was on my mind.
Miss Castaneda?
Hi, I'm going to go back to the whole uniform situation.
Yep.
Does this include their equipment? Because my son actually plays football for Azusa.
Yep.
And I mean, it's for their safety, you know. Correct. What I mean? So yes. I know every last season, he asked me to go super early to school to pick up his equipment, because it's kind of like first come, first serve. You get the better equipment when you're there early.
Oh goodness. I'm glad I know that now.
Yes. And I just want to make sure that, all the kids are protected, and he doesn't have, like a helmet that's not protecting his head. Yeah. And
so I will check in with the AD on that. That's a student safety issue. That's something that's besides the uniform.
Yeah. So I just want to make sure that so I know that for a fact. He will always tell me, take me early, because I have to make sure I get the good equipment.
Yeah, we'll have to do an inventory. That shouldn't be the case, that there's stuff that's bad for kids to put on. Okay, one other part that I wanted to share with you while I'm here with you is an update, because I know a lot of people are wondering what's coming, what's going. So just wanted to share a couple definite answers right now. To bring the kids together, and all know that all ninth graders will be at Azusa High School next year. I put together a team of Azusa and Gladstone teachers and staff who are going to work together on planning this 3-day half-day event for all incoming ninth graders. It's in the high school setting. It's called Link Crew, where upper grades 11th and 12th work with the incoming ninth graders. They teach them about the school. They teach them some chants. They take them on a campus tour, things like that. But normally it's the upper grade of that one school. But the thing different that I want to do is have the kids from Gladstone and Azusa work together to welcome the ninth graders, because eventually it's going to be everybody's school. So we want to start behaving as one school next summer. And that would include some Link Crew events that occur for ninth graders during the school year that are collaborations between Azusa and Gladstone, so that, again, we specifically design events that happen next year, 22, 23, so that everybody learns how to start working together, because I think that's going to help ease us into the transition. Some parents have been wondering, okay, so what programs are going to be there? At Gladstone has some stuff, Azusa has some stuff. So for sure for next year, here's what we have in store that I can tell you for sure right now. We still have the AP classes. We still have our auto program. We'll still have AVID. We'll still have the drama classes. The engineering program is still going to be around. Forensic science, it's partly at Gladstone and partly at Azusa. The IB program will still be there. JROTC will still be there. The new thing that's coming from Gladstone that will probably be there a little bit more in 23, 24 is the medical pathway that you probably are aware of. For foreign world languages, we're still going to have ASL, American Sign Language, still going to offer French, and still going to offer Spanish. And then 2 years, that early college program where kids are taking classes from Citrus College on high school campus will start in 23, 24. But next school year, if you have a 10th grader there next school year, we're going to be recruiting 10th graders at Azusa and 10th graders at Gladstone to belong to the ECP Academy for 11th and 12th grade, which is a free college program. That's the high school stuff that I can give you for right now. Questions or concerns about that right there? Yes, Miss Thomas.
Yeah, what, I don't know if you can hear me. I'm sorry, I'm driving up a hill.
I can.
I do. Okay, good. So how soon can we get together with Gladstone? Because I know that they are doing. I'm wondering why our kids went to Gladstone. Was it because of the programs that they have there that they're not going to
Yeah,
have
so
at
you're talking
Azusa?
about the 8th grade, the 8th grade
Yeah.
this week. So the reason why they
Mhm.
went to Gladstone this week was because Gladstone has the medical pathway that Azusa doesn't have. Gladstone has the digital media arts classes that Azusa doesn't have yet. And we wanted to make sure that the 8th graders saw that stuff because we expect that stuff to be at Azusa. We just wanted to let them know that these are programs that are going to be available to you.
Okay, cool. I figured that. We
Yeah.
did have we had the cheerleaders reach out from Gladstone, reach out to us and ask us if they had any questions or they wanted to give them any information. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would like to, wait, I'm sorry, I'm a little confused. Are you going to be our new principal?
The answer is yes, but I'm not acting like the new principal yet. It's still Dr. Gomez. I don't mean him any disrespect. He's a nice guy.
No, not at all. Okay,
Yeah.
I just wanted to know because I assumed that's what was happening today. I just wanted to make sure. I apologize. Nice to meet you.
He's
I'm
still going to
sorry.
be at Azusa High School until the end of the school year.
Yes. No, yeah, I know. I just wanted to clarify because I
Okay.
kind of think I thought one thing and thought another. Okay, so then I would get with Dr. Gomez in regards to meeting with Gladstone.
Yes. So if there's some projects that you want to have happen, or you could bring it up to me and I'll bring it up to him. Him and I talk almost every morning.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be one of them. I think that to kind of I think get together with Gladstone because yeah, we don't want them to feel
Right.
when they come into the school feel bombarded or feel out of place because that's exactly how everyone's going to feel, you know.
Yep.
And this is the inevitable. This is going to happen. We want to make sure that they do feel comfortable.
Yep. Thank you.
100%.
Good to hear. Miss Rico?
Yeah, Mr. Fernandez. So Gladstone will basically keep the name, right, and their mascot and everything.
Yeah.
So Gladstone colors, everything will be the same. But have you guys thought about what you're gonna do? For example, all the art that the murals at Azusa, how are you guys gonna, you know?
The first thing I saw at Azusa was the murals. I'm like, man, we better not touch these. I'm an art person and I don't want to paint over murals. They're pretty looking. So that's my own personal feelings. I don't like removing art. So hopefully we don't. That's gonna be my goal is we keep things there.
Okay.
But as for Gladstone, there's some art stuff at Gladstone that we need to bring over. There's collaborate. I don't know about Azusa High School's collaboration with APU and their art programs, but I'm aware that Gladstone students do get to collaborate with APU sometimes for their art programs, and I want to see that occurring at Azusa High School. And then I spoke to our music teacher, Mary Turner, and she talked about like building the music program. And I think yes, we need to build the music program. When we're at one high school, we should have a music teacher who's there the whole day. That's just me because my kids are in the band too, and music is important.
Yeah, the music program needs a lot of support because if we don't, it's just our orchestra and choir will disappear if we don't support Miss Turner. Yep.
Music is very important to me. Miss Thomas.
Yeah, I think that I graduated from Azusa too. Not only a coach, but I have kids there too. I think that if you did leave the murals there, along with bringing murals from Gladstone, that would earn so much respect. And I know it's going to be kind of everyone's put in a crazy predicament, but really like that would mean a lot to alumni, to the students.
to those who are, you know, who are losing their jobs. And I just think that would be so tasteful to leave that there, really. And then, yes, I agree with the music program too. Like we really do. There's a lot of things that we could change and do better on.
Yep. Miss Castaneda?
Hi, I just have a comment. Mrs. Rico, I've met you a few times, and I know your kids are always been in music because my son used to be in band. But if you ever feel like you need support from other parents that their kids are not in music, you could always, I'm a phone call away. I know I don't think we like met, but I've always seen you in the meetings. So yeah, if you feel, because I know your kids are big with music, so I've always seen you. So just know that if you ever feel like you need support from us as parents, let us know. Even though our kids are not in music, we're there to support each other.
That's
very nice.
I agree.
Thank you. Thank
Same
you.
here.
You guys are awesome. Thank you.
And then one more thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, one more thing. Oh my God, I lost my safety.
Yes.
Is there any? Are you guys gonna hire more staff, or what's the situation? Because I know there was a fight last week at Azusa, and I don't know if you've seen the video, which I have. It's not, and I'm not talking about the video of the kid being arrested. I'm talking about the actual fight, and I don't see any staff around.
I saw the same thing. That was a concern that I saw in the video as well. So I've been to Azusa High School. This is only like my second week away from Gladstone. I think probably 6 or 7 times trying to figure things out. And for sure, security is like number one on my mind, to make sure that all the areas are covered. I looked at bathroom situations and looking at the bathrooms and what's going on there and thinking, okay, how can we secure our bathrooms better? And then I was hearing some stuff yesterday about things that happen after school. And so part of it is the school and part of it is what happens after school. So I want to work with our community school partners here that are part of this call to kind of work through some community solutions and some school-based solutions for what occurs during the school day. For the most part, I would say that Azusa High School is very peaceful. What I saw were a lot of calm kids during lunch. I've seen kids at passing periods. So the things that we sometimes see pop up on social media, yes, they happen. Kind of like what happened to me at Gladstone at the beginning of the year. It looked really bad after school a couple of days at Gladstone too. But for the most part, the school's peaceful. It's just there's a couple of times where you're like, what is going on? And yes, that's true, because kids shouldn't be like that. And we should have adult supervision everywhere. I agree with you.
Yes. And then also
additional personnel.
No, yeah. So, and yeah, I'm sorry. The only reason why I'm saying it is because I feel like nowadays when there's a fight going on, everyone pulls out their phones.
Correct.
And I just feel like we all need to teach our kids, no, you don't pull your phone out, you get help or you stop it. And I always make sure I tell my son that. I'm pretty sure he doesn't listen to me, but it's like, how is everyone just staring at it and filming it like it's hilarious, and it's not.
Yep.
So yeah.
Sure. Miss Thomas?
Yeah, I want to second that with what Lizzie said too. I think it would be a good idea to have more hands on deck when it comes to that, because there are obviously, you know, if us parents are this passionate about the whole change in the mascot, you can only imagine what it's going to be like for these students who are going to eventually merge with Azusa. We are two competitive schools. I do worry about safety. You know, I'm sure everyone's going to get used to it. I'm sure the kids are going to eventually love it, but in the beginning, I know it's not going to go good. And I just wondered what we're going to do in place of, like, you know, like passing periods, or like, are you guys planning on hiring people to come in, you know, like kind of like how we have at the elementaries where, you know, you have like new aides kind of a thing where they are there to help,
I have a rough draft of additional personnel I would like to have in terms of security. I also think that I've been meeting with another group that works with the district called the Western Justice Center. I mean, there's a lot of different things that we got to bring to the table. And part of it is teaching behavior expectations. There is a PBIS program at Azusa High School where I want to make sure that we're still using that to encourage kids to do the right thing with different methods of incentivizing good behavior. But it's also how, like I said it before in another meeting, not this one, that it's really about the relationship of the parent and the school. Like when I had some difficult students in my past at another high school, when I've had difficult students at Gladstone, I'm sure there's going to be a few that are hard to work with in Azusa. It's not about get away from me, you're bad, get away. It's about let's work on this together. And that over time really eases things out. Because when you start to say that kid is bad, get him out of the school, you start to have even bigger problems where kids act out even more because they don't feel like they belong to anybody. So I'm a big fan. You're going to hear me say it a lot to your kids. I love you. Those words matter. Like kids need to know that they matter to the adults at the school. And over time it changes. But I agree with everybody saying at first it's going to be rough. It's because they're not used to each other. That's what happens. But like I'm saying, next year we build those events in where kids are working with each other, doing different things. They're getting used to each other. And I want to start it in 8th grade already to go find out who those 8th graders are. Because that's one thing I didn't have time to do because of COVID last year. But I definitely don't want to repeat that mistake. So it's about building connections, really it is. Miss Verduzco, but I think Letty, I'm sorry I'm taking you too much of your meeting. Is that okay?
That's fine. No worries.
Okay.
Yes.
Miss Verduzco?
Hi, sorry. So I did hear that there was fights and all that stuff, but I also hear there's a lot of kids who are getting high in school.
I've heard that too. I've heard that too. I
Yeah.
don't know what a lot looks like because I really have not seen under the influence behavior at Azusa High School. But I'll tell you, even in my son's high school, there's kids in the bathroom and kids after school going to the park. It's unfortunately a reality of all high schools. I wish we could have a magic wand and make all the drugs go away, but the reality is they're legal in California. That is problematic.
More adults just hanging out and like they were saying, like the noonades and stuff like that. I think they need it too, even though they're a little older.
Yeah.
They definitely need it.
Miss Thomas and Miss Rico.
Oh, real quick, I think that yeah, I know it does sound like, you know, like we're treating them like children with like neonates and everything, but like I'm dead serious. I think we should bring back PTA. Just throwing it out there. Us mothers will definitely, like, these kids know us. All the people that are here right now, these are consistent parents who literally have respect of all of these kids. You can go to them and they probably could name us or tell us what parent we are to which kid. I'm just saying.
That's a good idea. I'm going to take that. When we talk about safety in the spring, please come to that meeting and propose that idea because I like it. Ms. Rico?
Yeah, I was going to say, like you said, I think sometimes the bad news or the negative things are more public than all of the positive things, but I'm working, I get to work with both high schools. I am the I'm the youth services director for Rotary. So I get to work with the interact groups at Gladstone and Azusa High School, and they work together and they work amazingly. You know, they come together to beautify their community. Most of our students are really focused in their studies. They're really focused in their classes. They're, you know, they're doing their homework, their research. They're really busy with that. So I think that as long as we continue to provide opportunities for them to work together, amazing programs, clubs, we're going to be fine. But we just need to make sure we support that, and we support you, you know, as you try to bring all these things to Azusa.
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a bit already in place. I really don't have to touch much. It's just a couple things here and there. Alrighty, this is not the last time you will see me. I will probably be doing another meeting in March and another one in April just to start getting things going right for the school. That's not already going right. There's a lot going right now, I should say. All right, Letty, I'll stop sharing my screen.
Thank you. So thank you, everybody. And I want to respect everybody's time. Time is up for our meeting. But as you guys know, real quick, I'm the community liaison here at Azusa High, and Maritza's here with me, but Maritza's going to share some workshop information.
Yes, so I'll just go through it quickly. We're going to have a technology workshop coming up in the month of March. It's going to be English and Spanish, and it's only open to 12 parents because it will be in person, so we can only have a limited amount of parents in the person. But if you are interested, we're going to cover 4 different topics, and you would just sign up with me, and I'll put you on the list. And it's just learning about your mobile device, your Chromebook, how to log into virtual meetings on Zoom and Google Meets, how to navigate your Aries portal and check in on your kids, and all about emails. So we're going to have a little celebration on the 5th day, and you'll have your participation certificate. So if you're committed to attend all 5 sessions, contact me. It'll be in the morning. And we will have on March 9th a Zoom meeting about financial literacy, how to balance a checkbook, savings, checking account, savings account, anything about financial information. We're going to have a presenter on it. And you don't, they will also inform for families that are undocumented how they can also have that financial literacy and education. And lastly, on the 23rd, which will be next week, I think, we're going to have a mental health topic from the promoters of mental health on the emotional health and the brain effects of COVID-19. So we invite you to that too. I know there's a lot of workshops going on, but you don't have to come to all of them, and that's okay. I just want to make sure that we provide you the information that you're looking for if you're able to join us. And this is the calendar for the month. You have it. It's on the website. Ask us anything. We'll be here for you.
Yes, and also, hi, Charlie. We also want to inform you guys that there's an organization who reached out to me who wants to work on some workshops, and I'm thinking about maybe using Café Azteca as one of those days to do the workshop, so we don't interrupt a different day, because I know we share a lot of the parents with the elementary schools, and so we're thinking about maybe March 17th starting one of those meetings as a workshop, and they'll go over personal values and healthy relationships, growth and development, and just better communication with your students. So I'm hoping that works out. If you guys have any suggestions or comments, you can always reach me at my number 626-815-3521 and let me know what works. But I think our Spanish group pretty much thought that it would work out to use Café Azteca, their morning one, and try to get that going as soon as possible, because there's 8 different workshops. And so if you guys, I'd like to hear your input as well. So if you guys want to call me, email me, let me know what you guys think. That'd be really great. Okay. Thank you. So that's all for now. And thank you so much, you guys, for joining us today. Please keep sharing, this information about our meetings. And as soon as Mr. Fernandez has information for us to share, we'll be more than happy to be sharing it with you guys. Thank you. Charlie, be a good girl.
Can I ask you a question?